So I recently picked up the Xtool F2, and it's been an amazing laser for me. I love the portability and the ability to have a 15-watt diode as well as a 5-watt infrared laser. But with that said, one of the things that is an issue is the size. So you're sometimes limited by this 115 by 115 footprint, but Xtool actually sells a slide extension which can expand this to 400 millimeters by 115 millimeters. So if you're new here, hi, my name's Adam. We're going to go ahead and do a unboxing, and then we're going to do a setup of this slide extension, as well as run through a few projects to test out how this works, and then also do some batch processing to see how that works on the Xtool F2. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we'll go ahead and start with that unboxing, and we'll see what comes inside of the Xtool slide extension. And you have the instruction manual here on the top. And then under that, you can see the actual unit itself. So this unit you can buy separate, or you can do what I did and get a combo unit. But it just sets on top of the existing Xtool F2. Under this foam here, you can see the variety of accessories. So here's your connection cable. And then you have your actual guide, which we will use later on in calibrating the unit. You have some utensils such as your screwdriver for tightening down the slide extension. And then also in the box is a variety of different mounting accessories to hold down wood or the pieces of material that you're cutting. So the three items that are really important is this removable ruler, which we will use to calibrate the slide extension later, your cable, and then the screwdriver, which you will need to tighten this down to the build plate itself. So we'll go ahead and go over to Xtool Studio, and we're going to go ahead and do a walkthrough of how to set this up within the software. So in the top right of your screen, you're going to navigate to the processing mode, and we're going to change this to the slide extension attachment, as you can see here. And then from there, you're going to see that your workable space is going to expand to demonstrate that new workable area with the slide extension. So you'll head to the top of the screen. You'll be prompted to click Go. This will allow us to follow the guide, and as you can see here, it gives step-by-step instructions on how to set this up. So as you can see, we will place the slide extension on the base plate, and then what we're going to do is work to align this. Before we do that, we'll go ahead and make sure that we plug in with the provided cable in the box. As you can see, it plugs into the back of the slide extension, and then you can see this link icon is what I call it here, where it'll plug into your Xtool F2 or Xtool F1. And here's the ruler they're referring to. So we're going to align this ruler on the 0 mark on the slide extension. It's a little finicky. Be sure that you're kind of holding both sides, but don't worry too much about the positioning, as in the calibration process, we're going to be able to slightly move this later on. But as you can see, once that's in position, these are the two marks that you're going to want to be aligning the actual bottom of the slide extension with, as you can see there, and then also there on the right side of the Xtool F2. And with all that done, we can now go ahead and tighten the left side of the Xtool F2 using the provided screwdriver. Xtool software informs you to tighten the left and now the right side, as you can see I'm doing here. Just be sure to not over tighten this, as we're going to have to kind of change the positioning based off the calibration in the next step. So as you can see, it is going to do what it would be with kind of like framing, and it's going to portray a line over our ruler that we placed in an earlier step. And as you can see, you want to align the white line on the ruler with the blue diode line that is being portrayed by the laser itself. This is pretty finicky to do, but I was able to move this back and forth again, and to get it in a position that matched the laser itself. Once your blue line is aligned with the white line on the ruler, you can then grab your screwdriver and go ahead and tighten down the left side of the slide extension. After you tighten this down, you can go ahead and hit next on your software, and the slide extension will move automatically to the left, allowing you to fully tighten that final right screw. With all that said, you've gone ahead and set up the Xtool F2, so we can go ahead and move to some projects. We're going to start this project by first focusing the laser. So as you set the workpiece on the laser itself, using the knob here on the top of the Xtool F2, you can turn it and you want to align the blue and the red dot. And it's that simple, your laser is focused. Next up, we're going to hit the panoramic shot button, as you can see here. And this just is going to take a picture while moving the Xtool F2 left and right. And it's going to take a variety of pictures to capture the whole 400mm working area. You can see it working here on the screen. Here's the results of that panoramic shot. As you can see, it captured my whole workpiece, and we can begin to start cutting this first project. So I went ahead and laid out these little keychain blanks here, and we're gonna go ahead and change these settings. So when it comes to your settings, Xtool has a lot of options to help assist with this. So as you can see in the top right here, we can go to material, and we can actually select through a database of a lot of materials that they have with preset settings that they've done testing to figure out what works. And as you can see here, I'm using the 3mm basswood. So I'm going to click on that and hit apply. And then as you can see here, they have this one-click setting button, which gives a variety of different powers and speeds, showing the optimal settings. So this is for score. So if we switch to cut, they also have these options. So for this, we're going to use the default that they recommend, which is the 90% power and the 6mm speed. But it's really cool to see that they have these preset, and that's continuous across engraves and all the different ways to actually mark your workpiece itself. So once you go ahead and you select this, we can move to the next step, which is going to be actually cutting these out using this setting here. We can then move to the framing button, which will allow us to see where this is on our workpiece. And they have this really cool feature where you can use the dial to scroll through the slide extension to see where this is, even outside of the working area. So it's really cool to see that that's built in to the software itself. With that said, all the framing looked great. We can go ahead and hit the process button, and this will go ahead and cut out our ornaments. One thing I want to note when using the Xtool F2 slide extension, it does limit the speed you can use. So it will limit you at 160 millimeters a second, which is very slow compared to the normal speeds of the Xtool F2. So this is just one thing to note. If your settings are automatically changing, it is due to that. As you can see here, the one-click settings worked great, as I got really great cuts on all three of these little keychains. So now that we have those cut out, I really want to try the batch processing feature. So this gives you the ability to place items on the slide extension, and then in theory, you just hit go and can continually place items on the work surface, and then the camera will detect and position your engraving on the material itself. So we'll go ahead and walk through how to set up the unit to do that, and then as well as show how the results turned out. So we'll go ahead and walk through how to set up your slide extension for batch processing. So in the top right again, we're going to select the mode, and we're going to click Same Design Batch Processing. At the top of your screen, you're going to then see some more in-depth instructions that Xtool provides for batch processing. But in this video, we'll go ahead and just walk through how this will work. We're going to place our material on the slide extension, and then you're going to hit the refresh button to retake the image of your work surface. You then want to take into account what you want to engrave. So I have this design here, which is just my logo, and you're going to position this on your material and get this in the right spot, and then set the proper settings that you want. Again, I'm using the one-click settings to achieve this, but if that's not an option, go ahead and set the settings that are best for you, and then you're going to hit this confirm button here. It's then going to prompt you to frame out the material, so you're just going to set the boundaries of each of your material. This is going to allow your camera to detect an object as the slide extension moves. So here we're going to hit the process button. It might take some time as it loads, but it's going to then go through the process of moving the slide extension and trying to understand how many and where the items are positioned on the slide extension itself. And as it starts to finish, you can see in the top left corner here that it will betray the first item it is going to engrave. As you can see, these engraves turned out well, but it did miss that second keychain. And we'll talk about in a later portion of the video on why I believe that's happening. But as you can see, the results that did engrave, they look amazing. And the positioning on each of the keychains was great, and it followed that first parameters that were set. So as I said earlier, it did miss that second keychain, which made me want to do a second attempt of testing. And I had very similar results, as it skipped this time the second and the third keychain. And I think I figured out why this is. Due to the way that the panoramic shoot works, it ends up taking 4 images. And I believe the images that it's taking, if it's not directly in the center of the camera, it tends to skip over it. So with that, I kind of learned that you want to position it kind of like there's 4 segments on the slide extension. I would say roughly the size of the plate itself, so that 115 millimeters, as this seems to be the best way for the camera to always detect exactly how many objects are on the work surface itself. With that said, I went ahead and positioned it in this manner, and I had no issues with it skipping a certain keychain. It's kind of frustrating, and it kind of, in my opinion, defeats the purpose if you can't just lay them up there willy-nilly. But nevertheless, if you know how to work with it, there is ways around it. To be honest, I wasn't really thrilled with the results of the batch processing on the slide extension. A lot of the limitations came with the positioning of the material on the slide extension. I was under the impression that you could set these anywhere, and no matter what, the camera would be able to detect them and then position your engrave on the workpiece itself. And through my 2 attempts, I had to be very specific on how I placed them, and I feel like that really takes away from the workflow of batch processing. In past videos, I've talked a lot about using 3D printed jigs to kind of be able to speed up your workflow, and I still stand by that being the faster method, because you're not limited by the reduced speeds that the slide extension does, down to that 160 millimeters a second. Versus when you're using the Xtool F2 normally, there's no limitations with speed. I think where this slide extension really stands out is with your larger materials. So as you can see, this really large sign that I engraved here, just for the purposes of this video, as well as just some larger notebooks or other materials, as you can see here, you can get really nice engraves. But again, you're with that downside of the speed that the slide extension limits you to. I'll be using the slide extension to do some of these more larger projects. Typically on my Xtool F2, I'm doing smaller engraves. So normally the work surface works out great, but it's good to know that there is an option that gives you that 400 millimeter size versus the normal 115 millimeters. With all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm very new to lasering, so I'm kind of learning this process with you guys. But at the same time, I hope you could take something from it, or even just learn how to set up your Xtool F2 slide extension. Thanks again. I hope you have a good one. There's more laser videos to come, as well as some other 3D printing videos on the channel. Drop a comment. Let me know if you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see next, or if you just have any questions about the content in this video. Thanks again. Have a good one.